Hey, welcome back to my channel. So I guess I want to start out by saying that I feel like I've been super sporadic on here, and like I feel bad because there are some people who've been like, like when are you gonna do another video? But it's kind of rough finding time with two children at home who are crazy. But right now one of them is outside and one of them is napping, so there's somebody outside with that one. So I'm just gonna like try and quickly get these breast pumping tips, or exclusively breast pumping tips, in as fast as I can. If you're new, welcome. My name is Kim. It'd be really great if you would subscribe. This is like a mommy channel, so if you have any questions or requests, please leave them down below, and thank you so much for watching. So let's just get into it. So I guess I first want to say is that these tips are for people who are breastfeeding and pumping, and for people who are just exclusively pumping. Obviously, it's really like your choice on what you want to do. And I have two books that I do want to mention that I think, sorry, like for some reason I'm just itchy. It's like really dry. And I do want to mention these two books because I think that they could help. So the first one is Breastfeeding Mother's Guide to Making More Milk. I know that this says breastfeeding, but if you're doing kind of a little bit of both, this book like is super helpful. There is a whole section on pumping. Yeah. And it's a good section. I've read this one. It's good. It helped me increase my supply and also kind of like troubleshoot a little bit when I was like, this is weird. Another one that like I just found, I don't know, a couple months ago, is Exclusively Pumping Breast Milk. This book, if you're pumping at all, get this book. They have it on Amazon. I bet they have it at like your local library. It's great. So I'm actually going to be reading from their tips and techniques page because I really like all these tips are what I kind of already wrote down, and so I was like, oh, I'll just read from the book. But like this book is super easy to read and fast, which I really liked, and it's pretty easy to kind of just be like, oh, what was that? And like look in here. So one of the first things to kind of increase your supply is to double pump. So that means instead of pumping just one side at a time, you're pumping both sides at the same time. Another way is when you're nursing, you can pump on the other side, and the baby will still get milk if it needs to switch onto the other side. The baby's natural sucking will make you release another letdown. The thing about double pumping is that you take out more milk, therefore if you take out more milk, you make more milk. So it's kind of like the give and take. I feel like there's a word that is, but I'm not thinking of what it is. The more you take out, the more it produces. That should be a commercial. Anyways, some people have said that hand expression or hand pumping, you can't see what I'm doing because the camera's not right, but sometimes hand pumping with the Medela makes a really good hand pump, can help other people get more milk. It really depends on you. Like honestly, if you're kind of having trouble with your milk supply, or you think you're not getting enough, try different things, but kind of give it like 48, 72 hours to kind of like, trial and error. But I do think that there is kind of a rule of like, okay, this one's not working, like let's move on to the next one. But hand expression can sometimes get you more milk. It does take a little bit more time, but for some people it doesn't. Like it's kind of hard to tell. Another thing that helps is warm compresses or like hand massaging before you're hooking up to the pump or breastfeeding. That can just help with your letdown. Normally you some people feel this and some people don't. With a letdown, it's kind of like this really hard, almost like tingly feeling that's like going down here. Some people have no feeling at all, and both are completely normal. I actually had a really hard letdown, so my letdown really actually hurt a lot of the times. And for some reason, whenever I like would let down, the thing that would come to my head was that, like, at the beginning of movies, there's that like TMZ, like, producer thing or something, and it would be like it did. I don't even know if anybody knows what I'm talking about, like, please comment below, but that was just how I like pictured mine, I guess. Massaging, like hot compresses, gently massaging and stimulating the breast, thinking about milk coming out of the breast, which sounds really weird, can completely help let down and help have multiple letdowns while you're pumping. So somebody once said to me, think about falling money. And so I remember with Grant, when I was pumping, because I used to pump a lot with him, I would think about that, and it worked. Like, I don't even know. And also, like, looking at pictures of your baby or videos are a little bit better. If you're not with them, like, that can totally help release. And just, you know, deep breaths and like relaxing, excuse me, will also help. As you keep pumping and keep nursing, your breasts will start to like associate the pump with letdowns. So it'll get easier and easier the more you use the pump. They do say like take a warm shower, but I feel like nobody has time for that. The flanges. So that's another like big thing, is that you want to make sure your flange size is the right size. And it's really hard for me to like say what size you are. You really have to look at the charts. Medela makes a really good one. You can look it up online. I'll see if I can link it down below. But they make a really good sizing kind of chart to figure it out. But really what you want to make sure is that your nipple isn't touching any of the sides of your flange. If it is, if it's rubbing, you're not going to get as much milk. They do make certain like lubrications for pumping, but like coconut oil is completely fine to put in your flange so that it's lubricated, so that the nipple like is comfortable. Also, this is weird, but if you leave your pump in, like, I would make a specific pumping area in your home and don't move it, because your body will associate that area with letdown, milk, and everything. Kind of like, this is really weird comparison, but kind of like the bathroom. Okay, sorry. I just had like a coughing fit. Kind of like the bathroom, how your body associates that with going. If you make a specific area for your pump session, your body will be more apt to relax and go into a good pumping session. Another thing that you, my wood stove. So another thing that you can kind of do is change your pump. Or obviously change your flange size first, but if it's still not stimulating you enough, sometimes you need to change your pump or change the suction a little bit. The La Leche League is a really good resource. Sorry, I was just dealing with something. I lost my train of thought, but changing your pump or trying a different pump can definitely help. Now, I know pumps are really expensive, but sometimes if you borrow a pump from somebody else, that can really help. And then, you know, you can kind of take it from there. I know like Facebook has a ton of like exclusively pumping groups that sell their pumps online for much cheaper. And I think that's a really good resource. I mean, some people might think that that's gross, but obviously like you don't have to use their same parts. You can buy new parts. The actual pump part, some people don't even use them. They buy them brand new. So it's definitely something to look into. Another big thing that I'm always surprised that I feel like the books don't say this is pumping in the morning. You're going to get more milk in the morning because your hormones are all nice and high from sleeping. And if you pump kind of first thing in the morning before like even, you know, getting into your routine and stuff, you can usually get a lot of milk. For some reason my camera stopped recording. Today is just a weird recording day, so I'm just going to apologize. Yeah, so I was talking about how if you pump in the morning, you're way more likely to get more milk. I used to get like 8 to 9 ounces in the mornings on both like both sides. So I'm not saying that's what you're gonna get, but I'm saying like I got a lot more, where normally I'd get like 5 to 6 ounces on each side, like during the day. Obviously, if you're breastfeeding and pumping during the day, you're not going to be getting as much milk out in your pump because the baby's also nursing. If you're exclusively pumping, it's different. You're going to be getting more milk because that's all you're taking out is with your pump. Baby's not getting anything from you specifically. It's getting stuff that you've pumped, if that makes sense. And honestly, like I feel like the biggest tip with pumping is just keep doing it. It's the same with breastfeeding. Just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And once you kind of get over that hurdle of like, oh, this is really hard, it does get better, I promise. But yes, thank you, honey. So I think that wraps it up. If you have any questions or any requests for other videos, please leave the comment down below, and I'll see you in my next.